Oh my God, you guys, that was insane. I mean, we practiced for that. I'm proficient in a 182, but that was like, there was a lot of adrenaline. I mean, I think, you know, how did you feel, Paul? Were you upset that you didn't get to fly the actual landing?
No.
No? That was intense though, right?
It was very intense.
It was intense. I'm Jason Miller, a full-time professional flight instructor. On the Finer Points channel, you can join me as I bring you tips and tricks that I've learned from 20 years on the flight line. All right, aviators, welcome back. This is it. This is our last stop before we fly into the big show at Oshkosh. We're 2 hours away from Ripon intersection. We're here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, on a journey that started less than 24 hours ago in San Francisco, California. And man, we've seen a lot, from Lake Tahoe to Salt Lake City to the desert to the mountains. We did some night flying, we did some IFR flying, and here we are, ready to do the FISK arrival and to show you how it works. A lot of aircraft going in today, so we're gonna make it before they cut off arrivals at 2:30. Collision avoidance is a huge concern going in there, so eyes outside the airplane at all times. But just to help us out, we've got the Sentry ADS-B receiver so we can get traffic on our iPads. We've also got a G1000, which gets at least TIS-B traffic on the multifunction display, and there are two of us. So remember, the primary thing is eyes outside, but it's always nice to have those extra tools. All right, let's do this. Paul, you ready? To catch up people watching this video, we were just told by Minneapolis Center that, what were we told?
No soft surface parking. Well,
That's right.
We asked if we had a reservation.
Yeah, they asked for a reservation.
And then they said waterlogged, no space, no room at the end.
No soft field parking. So I'm not sure what that means. We're not camping. We're parking the plane and we're leaving it there. We got an RV on the fields for the week. But anyway, we're just now picking up the ATIS. We are 51.4 nautical miles away from Ripon. That's 23 minutes in this airplane, and we're just picking up the ATIS now because we figure that this is going to be the definitive word right here.
16.
Alright, I'm going to break the squelch so we can hear that a little bit.
Temperature T3, 2.14, altimeter 3013. RNAV and VOR runway 27 approach in use. VFR arrival procedures in effect. Runway 27 and runway 36 left and right in use. Pages 8 or 11 in the NOTAM. Monitor Oshkosh approach control frequency 120.7 for runway assignment and frequency. Oshkosh tower controllers will assign either runway 36 left or right. Grass parking for twins and heavy singles is closed. General Aviation camping is closed. Oshkosh arrival information, Foxtrot.
We're not a heavy single. Oh my God, that's great. I want to fly this.
Oshkosh arrival information, Foxtrot.
Let's just hear it.
653 Zulu weather. Wind 320, 10, gust 16. Visibility 10, sky clear. Temperature T3, 2.14. Altimeter 3013. RNAV and VOR runway 27 approach in use. VFR arrival procedures in effect. Runway 27 and runway 36 left and right in use. Pages 8 or 11 in the NOTAM. Monitor Oshkosh approach control frequency 120.7 for runway assignment and frequency. Oshkosh tower controllers will assign either runway 36 left or right. Grass parking for twins and heavy singles is closed. General Aviation camping is closed. Oshkosh arrival information, Foxtrot.
Wow, man, I feel pretty good about that. We are not a heavy single.
Well, what is the definition of heavy signal?
I don't know,
like
but
TBM.
Yeah, that's the first plane that came to mind. But yeah, TBM.
Well, this can't be. This is not that much heavier than a 172.
No, I mean we're like 3,000 pounds. What else would be a heavy single? Pilatus. It's a heavy single. An Epic aircraft.
A Spitfire.
A what?
A Beaver.
A Beaver, maybe. Yeah. Right, like a Caravan, a Kodiak.
Or a 210.
A 210.
Actually, yeah, or
I'm not even sure a 210 would qualify. I think those are all light singles.
Really?
Yeah, they're light airplanes.
Well, but they're heavier. What I'm saying though is they're heavier than us.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well,
but look, if it says VFR arrivals are in effect, and they say all of that,
they didn't say the inn is closed.
Exactly.
Turn around
and go home.
And hope.
So we're going to fly the VFR procedure.
How fun.
All right. So did you notice that they said
the pages
assignments for? Well, they did, but they also said runway assignments for 27, 36 left, 36 right. But then later on, he said the air traffic or the ATC will assign either 36 left or 36 right.
Yep.
And with the winds being 320 and 10 gusting 16, right?
Yep.
I'm expecting, and I'll be briefed for both of them, but I'm expecting that we're going to get runway 36 left or right.
Right. So if it's 27, it's the railroad.
Right.
And if it's 36, it's the other one. So
it's
that's left hand.
Yeah.
So those look simple. Famous last words.
Yeah. Picking up that road is key, right?
Yeah.
So 1800 MSL from FISK. All right. So we have all lights on.
There will be well, silence. Let's just plan this for a second. Where are we? 63 Charlie. Well, I don't need to look for any more. Right, there's a lot more. We can see traffic conversion there as well. Okay, so should we start? Should we go down a bit and cancel flight following, and then set up the radios for listening to FISK?
That's what I would like to do.
Of course, I'm sure you guys studied hard and have it memorized. I got wigwags, low wing, I think it is. Rock your wings for me. Rock your wings, VTAL, rock your wings for me.
There's the old rock your wings, Paul. You're practiced, you're polished, you can rock those babies.
36, please.
And just like that, our Oshkosh 2019 arrival starts.
We're not starting at Ripon today, we're starting at Green Lake. I need you to go to the southwest corner of Green Lake and go check it out. Find somebody to follow there at 1,890 knots or 2,300.
You see Green Lake? Yep. Okay, so Green Lake, there's a little wrinkle thrown in here. Green Lake is the lake to the southwest of Ripon. We're going to circle it counterclockwise, okay?
This is NOTAM, page 11. I got a low wing, dark color with the gear up still. Rock your wings for me.
3 skills that we're going to need to fly into Oshkosh. All right, and the guy on the ground says, white and blue Cessna, rock your wing.
All you guys are making my job real easy. You're doing a great job out there. The spacing has been great. The altitudes have been great. Everybody's playing along real nice.
All right, let's not this up. Everyone's doing great.
Thank you. No pressure.
Just a reminder, I've been told General Aviation camping is closed, but General Aviation parking is still available.
Hurrah!
I feel like we should keep the speed up until we get there, otherwise I'm just afraid they're going to shut it down or something.
Okay.
You're now
I'm not bad for any of this, so at any point,
36, there's a microwave antenna heading to your right. Keep that off your right wing.
Just shout.
Okay, you guys, I know that there are a lot of videos about the FISK arrival, so there's basically 2 things that I want to convey here from my experience, and one of them is, you know, that a pilot like myself, I'm relatively experienced, been doing this for over 20 years, I'm proficient in the aircraft, I practiced the skills required. I sort of got into a situation where I could have easily been a victim of a stall spin accident. So I want to kind of talk through that funnel, how get there-itis was one factor, and a couple other things like managing airspeed in a descent and all sorts of stuff kind of contributed. I'll show you the exact moment where I think I could easily see somebody with a little bit less experience getting into some trouble. So, you know, that arrival at Oshkosh was tricky, even for an experienced pilot. I want to convey that. But also, I want to look back. You know, the last video I released was 3 skills to practice going into Oshkosh, and all 3 of those skills came into play. So I kind of want to, you'll see flashbacks here where I sort of tie back to that last video and say, here was something that we practiced that was really valuable. And I also think going into next year's practice video, there's going to be a couple of extra skills added.
Good. This is the town of Ripon here, but we're not going to circle. You're going to pick up those railroad tracks.
Runway 27.
There, you see them coming out of the grain elevator there?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Follow them.
those are your tracks. Yep.
Okay, got it. That guy looks like he's getting higher.
A little bit. And usually when people get higher, they get slower, so be careful.
Yeah, I am watching like a hawk.
Oh.
Half-mile intro spacing, everyone. Half-mile intro spacing this afternoon. No side-by-sides, no over-unders. If we don't have a half-mile, we'll have to send you back.
You can see how the get there-itis mounts up. I mean, I was aware at this point that getting sent back to Ripon or to Green Lake could have very well meant not getting into Oshkosh on this day.
Keep your spacing, guys. Keep your spacing. We don't want to send anyone back.
That's
Give me a rock for the second low wing, right over FISK.
Yeah, that's the low wing.
Right, sir, 090, expect a left downwind runway 36. Correction, left base runway 36. High wing left light, half mile south FISK, rock your wing.
That's him.
Good rock, continue northeastbound over the railroad tracks. Expect a right downwind runway 27.
Hey, you're next.
Second high wing, follow the company ahead. Expect a right down runway 27 inside the gravel pit. Aircraft going to runway 36. Monitor the tower 126.6.
That's fine. Slow down a little bit.
Canard, make a hard right 360 for me, please. Canard, hard right 360. The canard, spin it all the way around. Just need a little bit extra space.
Slow down. The guy behind you is no factor anymore.
Over the railroad tracks for runway 27. Monitor tower now 118.5.
The Canard aircraft that was told to do the 360 was getting way too close to us, and it was bugging me. It was definitely taking up some of my attention. You can see that Paul pretty much has his altitude and airspeed nailed, but we were gaining ground on the guy in front of us. He was definitely slowing down. I didn't know why, but we come to find out that there's essentially a Cessna 150 leading the pack, and so we had no choice but to slow down. I mean, objects in the video are much closer than they appear.
CVM 0, Papa Foxtrot, turn right, just after
no one's behind you, and I'd really like to create some more space with this guy.
Bravo 2, follow Flight 0, Papa Foxtrot, thanks for your help today, have a great day.
You as well, sir.
Let me take it just for a sec.
You have control?
Okay, I got the control. See the runway we're landing on?
Yep.
So we're going to make a right downwind here. I just want to get some space. You want to take it again?
Yep.
Okay, there's 10 flaps in, okay?
Yeah,
you're real slow.
Okay.
Dark high wing turning downwind, are you bird dog? 2 high wings joining the downwind, are you a flight?
There it is. A Cessna Bird Dog is essentially a Cessna 150, and the aircraft were getting so close together that the controller asked if we were a flight, like a formation flight.
2 high wings joining the downwind, are you a flight?
So you get to something like 1,000 AGL, you park yourself behind an aircraft in front of you, so you just sort of come in behind somebody and follow that person. Right? And so you're like a quarter of a mile off their tail. I promise you that person's not going to have perfect airspeed control.
The first high wing, just over the gravel pit, rock your wing. Good rock, and tail dragger that just rocked, start your descent. Blue Cessna, you're following the tail dragger, just ahead to your left there. Start your descent as well. The third Cessna in line there, start your descent as well.
So this is an interesting moment. Everybody's being asked to start descending toward the landing. They're starting to think about hitting the dot. And if you're a bird dog, you land at 60 knots. So we had to do a very slow descending 180-degree turn. And if you listen closely, you can hear the stall horn chirping in the background as I descend the 182 through the 180-degree turn.
Blue Cessna, start your base, turn base. Yellow high wing, runway 27, clear to land, green dot. Keep that turn coming. Yellow high wing, need that turn. Keep coming all the way around, back to the green dot, all the way back around to the green dot. Blue Cessna, set it down on the orange dot.
And I catch myself pushing inside rudder, which is really dangerous. You can see it on the G1000. The slab's out to the left, and I'm pushing on inside rudder because I didn't feel right at the steep bank angle and the slow airspeed. I didn't really have the altitude below me to just sort of drop the nose. I mean, I couldn't land anywhere. It's specific. I needed to land on a dot. So, you know, remember that if you have to turn, it's the horizontal component of lift that causes the turn. So the best way is coordinated, steep bank, and if you had to, add power to maintain your flying speed. If you feel like you need to lose altitude, it's always best to push on the top rudder. That's the rudder for the wing that's, you know, high. We call that top rudder. And it's, you know, it's... The only reason that's safer is because in the event you do experience a stall, you've got all this time, right? The aircraft's going to roll in this direction, and you have a lot of time to sort of recognize it, get the nose down, and recover. Whereas if you're pushing inside rudder, which is, you know, toward the turn, trying to subconsciously get the turn to happen faster, if you were to experience a stall there, the aircraft just kind of rolls like that, and there's no time at all to recover. It's pretty much unrecoverable. So I caught myself doing that. I recognized it immediately, rolled into a steeper bank angle, added a little bit of power, and you can hear him tell the aircraft in front of us, keep it in the air, keep it in the air, which was one of the skills from the practice video, right? What happens if you have to kind of extend your approach at the last minute, and that's what this guy in front of us had to do. But once I heard that, I realized we were going to get the orange dot, so I picked an aiming point in front of the orange dot, used a little bit of that top rudder slipping turn, not skidding turn, slipping turn to make sure I hit the dot. But there's a lot of pressure there, right? The two aircraft in front of us are on the ground already, so if I overshoot that dot, I could potentially hit the aircraft on the runway. So
Yellow high wing, keep it in the air all the way past the green dot for me. Blue Cessna, keep it in the air. We're going to take you down to the green dot as well. Keep it in the air, add power all the way down to the green dot as well. And that last Cessna just turning final. Good job. Put it down on the orange dot. Outstanding job. Good job. Beautiful job, everybody. Yellow high wing. Right turn on the hard surface after the white dot. And for the blue steps, now a right turn after the white dot as well.
Just like that, we're on the ground at Oshkosh 2019. I think the main takeaways are that airspeed control is huge. We all have to do this together. Get there itis is definitely a thing, and that there are skills you can practice ahead of time. We'll have to fine-tune that practice video for next year. Over 600,000 people were in attendance. Over 10,000 aircraft came. Thanks to everybody who came up and said hello and who came to my talks. To all my social media friends, it was an epic time, and I can't wait to see you next year. Also, a huge thanks to the sponsors and to you, the best fans on the internet, for watching this video. I'm Jason Miller, and until next time, be safe, fly your best.
Once I was happy, but now I'm airborne, riding in gliders all tattered and torn. The pilots are